Welcome to our next episode of
Fandom
Family
Chats.
This is a production of Family Fan Clubs on Facebook. You can find us all over Facebook. You can find us all over social media under Fandom Family Chats. Look us up, get dialed in, get plugged in, and get ready to listen to some crazy people talk crazy stuff.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Josh.
I'm Tiffany.
I'm Bethany.
And today we are talking about 911 and 911 Lone Star, seasons 5 and 3, episode 13. So this one was, I like this one. We're going to first start with OG 911, FYI. I like this episode.
Episode 13, lucky number 13. Ouch.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wonder if that's the whole theme of this. These episodes were kind of freaky,
Yeah.
like, phobias, and
Yeah.
maybe because it was 13. Ooh,
Ooh,
it
look
just
at
dawned
that.
on me. Good job, Josh.
There you go.
So, well, Maddie's back, but it seems like her and Chim have decided to break up, which I'm really bummed about, man.
Womp, womp.
I didn't
That was
expect
the only
it.
thing I didn't like about this episode.
Same.
It was shocking.
But they're
Horrible.
going to get back together, right? I'm sure they just need a break.
They better.
I
hope
have
not.
hope.
I don't.
Like, he's watching her like with G Young.
Call her Gigi.
G.
G.
Well, they call her G sometimes. I'm gonna call her G.
You call her G. I
I'm
think
just
that's
gonna keep messing it up. But like, he was sitting there in the doorway just watching them too, like when she finally was in the bathroom with her. Just the look on his face and watching her, they can't be over.
no.
So I
I
think
I don't know. I kind of it's like at this point I'm like kind of tired of it now, because it's like she went through all that, and I get it. She was sick. I mean, it is what it is, and I'm not gonna, you can't fault somebody for being sick. I mean, but
yeah.
Jiminy went through all of that. He stuck out, took care of the kid, did all of that, searched for her, did everything, and then it still ended. And I get it, that's real life sometimes, but it just felt real kind of, I don't know, it just was real sucky. It just didn't, that's a proper term there, just
It was. I didn't enjoy it, but I'm just holding out that hope.
It seems almost pointless to do everything that he went through for all those months just to halfway home. Hey, let's end this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Then why did you uproot your life, spend all of your savings to look for this woman?
Yeah.
And then break up? Like, it just,
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
well, I mean, I guess he wanted to make sure she was okay. They still love each other.
yeah.
And I mean, I get him wanting to look for her.
Mhm.
I just don't understand this breakup. I don't understand the meaning of it, where we're going with this. Why was it necessary? I feel like they've already been through so much. We've been dealing with so much, Maddie and Chim. Like, why do we keep having to drag out this relationship? Like, can we just stabilize the relationship and move on to, I don't know, somebody else that needs help?
You just
Yeah.
let them be happy for, like 5 minutes.
My gosh, it's been one thing after another with them. I'd rather them start becoming like Bobby and Athena and just kind of like quieting down.
Right?
Don't, but be careful that we love Bobby and Athena. Don't attack them.
We do. You can't mess with them. Don't mess with them.
Let's not jinx them with.
Yeah,
I
you
think I'm
cannot
gonna-
mess with them. I will riot.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
start a campaign here, hashtag Chimney deserves better, I mean, the man had a rebarb in his head. I mean, it's called Chimney for more than one reason, including the fact that he had a hole in his head, so I don't know.
I'm
That's just me.
surprised there's not a scar there.
Yeah.
It
That's-
always, it
the
honestly always
makeup
bothers me.
department.
They should have at least made him like have like a circle in the middle of his head or something.
Even if it was faint, I think it would have been really dramatic and poetic. Like whenever they're doing like a close-up scene and something crazy is happening, and there's that little reminder of wow, look
Yeah.
what happened, and look what he survived, and look what he's
Yeah,
gone through.
exactly. I'm sorry if a freaking bar goes through my head, there's gonna be a scar.
Yeah.
If I scratch myself, I have a scar.
Yeah.
So
What's going on?
there's
That's
gonna
all
be
the-
something.
Neosporin he used, after that, just to make sure it didn't.
I need to know his tricks.
Special kind. Chimney, the character, wakes up and puts makeup on every morning. Nobody knows. There we go.
That's actually a valid point. I wouldn't be surprised. Chimney does seem like the kind of guy that would probably use some sort of concealer to.
Cover it with makeup to not freak everybody out. Can you imagine,
Yeah.
like day after day, he sees all these patients and all these people. You're like, okay, what is this? It's got to get tiring. Like every time you see
Mhm.
somebody new, they're just gonna stare at you. It's like, well, what happened? Okay, here's a story. Rhubarb went through my head and walk away.
Oh, I think I need to go back and rewatch some old ones.
Me too. Yeah. I know they've just gone through so much, and I have a feel. I mean, it feels like it's all one-sided. It feels like it's all on Maddie, because if he truly felt that way, then why in that moment would he be like, well, we're done? I mean, obviously the resolution of finding her, making sure she's safe. Okay, let's move on. And you hear those stories of couples that go through just harrowing situations, either going to bring them together and cement them, or it's going to rip them apart, and obviously in this case, that's what it did, but
Yep.
it feels like I don't know, it feels like it was instigated by Maddie, and Chimney being Chimney is going along with it because he's putting her before himself, but I'm hoping that this is just maybe a dramatic way of them to start over, fall all over again, have something new, because they're never going to be what they were before, but they can, maybe have something fresh. I'm hoping it's just drama, a story arc that they're starting and
Yeah.
it's going to resolve, and they'll get back together, and it's just something to keep us on our toes for a while, but that's what I'm hoping. But
Yeah. I don't know if Chim really trusts Maddie right now. And I think that is a big issue.
yes, yeah, it's true.
So I can see maybe that being his reason why he doesn't think that they should be in a relationship right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you even saw his fear whenever he walked in and saw the bathroom light on.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Like that was his fear. Like, okay, it's something finally happened.
yeah,
Like you can't live like that every day together.
no,
I mean, the more and more we're sitting here talking about it, and I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, it's probably good they're not together right now.
No, I
I'm
agree.
talking myself out of it.
Yeah, like you said, I think it kind of like when traumatic things happen, it either brings a couple together or it pushes them apart. You just see it all the time, and sometimes being apart is kind of what needs to be, happening. But let's
Yep.
just hope they're on a break. But I do feel like I think Jennifer Love Hewitt, I have a feeling like she's probably trying to like tug away, and go do other things, because I mean she was gone for what, like half of this season. I mean, and then
Well,
just
that might be
big episodes,
that might be like her. That was probably, well, she just had the baby in real life,
Yeah,
right?
she's not a baby.
Yeah. So that's understandable. I mean, she's
Yeah.
done shows in the past that have lasted. Like, how long was Ghost Whisperer on?
Oh God, I was on forever.
Yeah, I mean,
think it was 9 seasons.
she likes doing. I think she likes doing shows. So I can see her sticking around for a while. Really, since she did come back after that. I mean, that could have really, they could have written her off with that 5
Yeah.
seasons. Ghost Whisperer was.
So
So
maybe I've just watched it so many times.
I've never seen it.
It was 15.
Seriously? Am I the only one that's seen Ghost Whisperer?
Confession, I have never seen it either, but I am familiar with it.
Yeah.
Like I'm familiar. Like I knew Jennifer Love Hewitt was in it. Like I know a little bit about it. I've just never actually. I think I've maybe watched one episode.
I've watched even that, but I've never seen a whole season.
I don't even think I've seen a full episode. I mean, I'm super aware of it, but I've never sat down and watched it.
And I used to be a big
Really
fan of
good
hers.
show,
Like
guys.
back in what was that movie I love that she did? With Susan Sarandon. Heartbreak. Was it Heartbreakers?
Heartbreakers.
Oh, I think it was Heartbreakers,
I have not seen that either.
where her and her mom and they're doing the cons.
Yeah, I think it's Heartbreakers. Yeah.
All right.
She did a Hallmark movie with Betty White once, and like my parents love it. It's like Hallmark, Betty White, Jennifer Love Hewitt, why not? But it's like this really sweet story. It's called The Lost Valentine. It's about a guy in World War II, and it's like really sweet. But like, it's one of my parents' favorite movies.
It is
I've heard of that
sweet.
one.
I love that movie. I love her and Betty White together. They were so cute.
Yes, and
Yes.
Betty White. I mean, anything and everything she does is incredible. So
Yeah, I'll watch anything with Betty White in it.
Rest in peace, Betty.
Yeah, Maddie and Chim find out that they have both been replaced in their jobs, which is not thrilling for either of them.
Well, I mean, what did they expect?
Yeah, that's true.
Chimney had a
I
whole
mean-
nother job.
Yeah, but what's his name? Their captain, Bobby. My brain just.
I don't think Chim will be out of work
No.
too long.
I mean, Bobby said he had always had a place there.
yeah,
So
he'll be back. I don't feel like I'm too that concerned about it.
No.
Maddie, on the other hand, I don't know.
yeah, I'm not sure about Maddie.
I mean, Bobby was willing to cook him a whole specific meal. So, I mean, with all that fish.
As long as it was fish.
He just wanted to get rid of the fish. He was pretending. I'm just kidding. He was just pretending to be nice.
Oh man, all the fish. Well, we got to see Albert.
Oh.
Like Albert.
Special shout out to Albert. I like him.
He's
I like our little rare glimpses we get of him. I guess ice cream it is for dinner.
I know. He looks so different with a mustache too.
Oh my
It's
gosh, he needs to shave that thing off. If you're listening,
We were watching, and everybody was watching together. And my mom actually goes, "Who's that?"
Yeah.
That's Chimney's brother.
What?
Oh, okay.
the mustache of disguise.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Suddenly realized why that's been a disguise all these years. Like it really worked.
It actually works. Yeah, it's like the same thing with like, I didn't believe that people wouldn't recognize Clark Kent as Superman
Oh,
until I saw Zoe Deschanel without bangs, and it's like, never mind, I get it.
Yeah,
Well, didn't
that's
was
true.
Henry Cavill, he did that, right? He put like the thick rimmed Clark Kent glasses and like just walked down the street and like nobody knew who he was. I wonder if they
Mhm.
recognized him anyway, but it was like right around the time where the Superman movie came out and he's just like walking around with the Clark Kent glasses, like nobody knew who he was. And it's like, okay, I guess it's for real then. Like it works that way.
Rainn
I would
Wilson did
notice
it.
him.
Yeah, you wouldn't notice it. I don't think I can not know that's him. Hello.
You cannot tackle people, Tiffany. It's
Yeah.
frowned upon.
It's what the police come.
Then
that's how
then it's a law.
I just need to be able to run really fast.
This
But
is
can you outrun Athena?
it's
No.
a perfect pitch for like an episode of 911. You know,
Yeah.
A celebrity visiting. Oh no, we can do it in LA.
Yeah. I
I'm
was,
just-
I
I was like, oh yeah. I'm thinking Lone Star right now.
well, it could
We're not
happen.
even talking about Lone Star.
Your brain's already in Austin.
Ooh,
It could happen in Austin too, you know.
it could. A lot of famous people go to Austin.
They do. A lot have moved there also.
Yes, very recently too. So I don't know. I think they'll eventually both get their jobs back, though. I
Probably.
think they will.
Yeah. I mean, even the new guy was like, well, it looks like I gotta start packing my bags. Like, give me
Yeah. I like him too. He's nice.
Pack it up, buddy.
Bobby's just gonna
Get
make
outta
him like
here.
assistant fire chief or something like that. You'll see, it'll just be some made up title, but they'll accept it.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, maybe he can be a fireman too, right? He's
I
not just a paramedic.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he can because he's gone into buildings before too with the guys.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that could work.
I think in 911 they're both.
Yeah.
So he can, I mean, I'm sure he can find a spot on the truck.
Yeah.
Engine, something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Fit him
because I
in.
think he was in a
But
building
also,
when that's how he got the rebar. They were fighting.
yeah. It's Chicago. They do not, paramedics and firemen are completely separate.
Oh wow. Totally separate. I wonder if that's like a real thing or that's just for the
I don't
show.
know.
In Chicago, like how do they do that? I don't know.
I don't know.
Hmm.
But okay. So my man, Eddie,
Eddie.
my
Oh.
man, he is really struggling with his past right now,
And
which,
he's gone through a lot, hasn't he?
oh my gosh, like he broke me this week.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Ryan Guzman fan. So seeing him break down like that just broke my heart. And Christopher sitting there and hearing everything, just
Yeah.
I knew as soon as I heard a phone ring, I was like, oh, it's gonna be Buck's phone.
Yep.
I knew Christopher was gonna call it Buck.
Yeah.
Uncle Buck.
I know. I mean, he's going to therapy, at least.
I mean, he's doing all the right things. It's just
Yeah, he's at least
not
trying to get
helping at the
help.
moment.
But
Not an instantaneous event,
No, and I
no,
don't
really,
think-
when he's, I mean, everything, all his PTSD comes, I think, not all of it, but a lot of it comes from that one helicopter crash that he was in. And, this week just broke him when he found out literally nobody has survived.
and I don't think obviously his therapist thought that through. You know what I mean? It just
No.
Should have been
It-
aware
I
of
mean,
that, yeah.
who would
I
who
mean,
would
he
assume that
couldn't
4
have.
people?
yeah, after the fact. What he probably should have done was maybe like, and here I'm not a therapist, but I'm just saying, like, refer him to a group of people that are already needing, that have been through the same thing, that have the same kind of issues, versus just saying, hey, reach out to folks that have already been through that, and it's like, I don't know, we'll touch on that on Lone Star, but
Mhm.
not to skip shows, but that's kind of makes a little bit more sense.
You
Yeah.
could see, and obviously they know that it airs back to back, so you can kind of see how the same concepts
Yeah.
or related to the next show kind of.
They did. I really liked how the 2 shows flowed together this week. It was really easy to watch them back to back. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Usually I don't watch them until days afterwards, just because to keep my mind fresh for the podcast.
I hope Eddie can get through this, though. I mean, obviously he's gonna have to, but I just hope he can get through this without causing any more collateral damage,
Mhm.
Yeah.
He needs to get back to his job.
He does.
Yeah.
He's
Not enjoying what
missing
he's
it
doing.
so bad. He's
That's
so
not helping
missing
him.
it.
I thought it was so funny when they're like, hey, can you tweet this out, about the road closures? I'm like, wow, yeah, really, dude. Okay.
We know what you're capable of.
Oh, man. It's
Go back to work.
it's that catch-22 though, because it's like Bobby wants him to be in a better spot to start to work, but work is going to help him get in that better spot. So it's kind of like you have to
Push through.
that's push through it. Yeah, okay, do as much as you can to get yourself where you're going to be safe and everyone around you is going to be safe. But okay, jump back in, even if you don't, it's kind of finding that sweet spot of when he can jump back in and when that's going to let him heal, and
I think he really needs to work through his PTSD before he goes back.
yeah,
Just because who was it who's already had the flashbacks, like when they were like in the hole? Was that Eddie or was that Buck? That like
Was Eddie?
panicked. It was Eddie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
it was
Eddie.
Eddie.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
he's
so
obvious. This is not like a first time thing. I mean, this is an ongoing thing. He really needs to get to the bottom of this and
Yes.
work on it. I don't think PTSD really ever goes away, but
no, you
needs
just learn to confront it and learn to live with it and how to manage it,
Yeah,
I think
which
that's
I think
what
he
it
really
is.
needs to work on that right now.
Yeah. When I saw him crying on the floor, I was first thing I thought was, oh wow, he is so far away from being, ready to run into a burning building, and put all of that aside and focus on, rescuing the victim. And it's so hard, because you're thinking he's falling apart. He can't do that, in the middle of a call. but
Mhm.
again, he's dealt with that stuff in the past too, so he needs to, get his feet on solid ground so he can keep going. But like I said, it's that catch 22 that's so hard. But
Yeah.
I think I feel like as hard as this was, and it felt like a setback, and it probably at the beginning was, I think it could also work as a breakthrough as well, because it kind of helped him realize, and probably his therapist and everybody realize exactly where he's at, and it
Yeah.
helps get it out. He's facing his fear, which was, the plot of this episode, just he's facing his fear, and that's how he can conquer it. That's how he can get past it, but it's still heartbreaking to see, poor Christopher to have to go through that as well, and
Yeah. And I think that will push Eddie
yes,
to work hard now that it has actually affected Christopher.
yes,
I think this will really be a push for him. Not that he hasn't been working hard, but it's more of a drive for him to say, okay, I really need to get ahead of this,
yes,
because he can't keep doing that in front of Christopher.
no,
And one of the things is that, I mean, he has lost so many people. I mean, that's a thing where, I mean, obviously his PTSD comes from so many different things, especially that, that helicopter, crash and flight and whatnot. But I mean, his wife, his friends, and
Yep.
technically his firehouse family, because he's not working there right now,
Yeah. He's
and
lost everybody except
he's lost everybody except Christopher.
Yep.
And if things continue the way they are, there's a good chance that Christopher might not even be able to be around either.
Yep.
And maybe he's going to realize that, and that would help pop him back into a way of learning how to deal with PTSD, with his PTSD, learning with it.
Yeah. I mean, he said he's afraid he's never going to feel normal again. I'm just glad he sees it.
Yeah.
yes,
He
I think
sees
that's
he
like
needs
the
the
first
help.
step, right? You realize that you need it,
Yeah.
absolutely.
and I think that's
So-
with everything, not just PTSD. It's just once you start realizing, hey, you need the help, then the ball starts to roll, in a positive direction.
I hope so. Also, Buck decided to come confront his fear this week.
Uncle
Oh, Uncle Buck.
Woo!
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So he finally decided. You see, if he had just finished the conversation how it was supposed to go the first time, he wouldn't have escalated the situation,
No.
with Taylor moving in, and now it's so much later. He's getting deeper, and Maddie's back now, so he can talk to Maddie about it. And it's if he had just it's Buck though. It's not always simple with Buck. He doesn't always make the smartest decisions.
Never simple with Buck.
It's never simple
Ever.
with Buck. And I think even Maddie realizes that too. And their childhood was crazy. They've had crazy things happen, with the brother, and then Buck not knowing. And so I think it was cool that he got to communicate with Maddie, and
Yeah.
maybe she kind of helped give him that insight, or just help make him realize, like, hey, you know what, I need to go ahead and talk to Taylor about this now. And that's when he finally let Taylor know. And I was realizing afterwards, I don't even think he told Taylor that it was Lucy.
That's what I was gonna comment
did
was
not.
let's just wait until Taylor finds out that this is the new woman he's working with every shift.
She was very
specifically said some random girl at the bar.
Uh-huh.
That's much.
Yeah, and then she ends it with no more secrets. And so if she thinks that
Like, okay.
it's a secret, like it could have been
Yeah.
like, didn't catch her say that, okay, whatever. But if you caught her say that, did be like, oh no, it was Lucy, then she's gonna be like, I said no more secrets, and you're doing it all over again, but
Yeah, I need to put this on record just so we have it recorded. So what I think is going to happen is Taylor's going to somehow find out that it was Lucy
yes,
that he kissed. They're going to get in a huge fight, break up, and then that is how Buck can become in a relationship with Lucy.
Are you Team Lucy over Team Taylor?
Yes, 100%.
I don't know. I don't know.
100%.
I would hate for their relationship to start like this, though. You know.
I mean,
It was a kiss.
Is that
Yeah.
just because you like Ariel?
Is it? Do you feel bad for
It is.
Lindsay because of what Dean did to her? Is that all that is? You know, you're like after Dean,
Steve,
Buck can, you know.
we have Dean, but she is from the Vampire Diaries, which
Yeah.
Tiffany knows is my number one show.
Oh, that's why. So you're rooting for.
And also love John Tucker Must Die.
Oh,
So
yeah,
she's
that's a good one.
just one of my favorites. I absolutely love her. So whenever she was coming to 911, I was like, everybody move out of the way. My girl is here. And she's the female Buck.
Yeah, she's meant to be the female.
Agreed.
Yeah, when they announced that she was joining the cast, they're like the female equivalent of Buck, and I was like, oh, are they gonna actually like make them a couple, or you know, because then it's almost like if she's a female equivalent of Buck, then I just assume maybe they might butt heads, you know, like they're both vying. I mean, not the literal same position, but if they're the equivalent of each other, they're gonna both vie for that, you know, within their dynamic, within their social group. So I was wondering.
But I think that's good. I think that's good for them. I think that's the type of personality they like, somebody that can challenge them. And I don't feel Taylor and Buck vibes at all. I don't understand their relationship. I don't like it. I don't feel like they're a good match. And I know the woman just moved in and, you know, threw his couch out and everything. But so, I mean, he can let her stay for a little bit, but eventually she needs to get out and Lucy needs to come in.
I think opposites attract, and I think that's why Taylor and Buck work. You know, I mean they've had their problems. They've been on and off again and on and off again and on and off again. It's just been, you know, they've literally been enemies, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I remember.
You know, I don't know. I guess I'm not technically Team Taylor, and I'm not technically Team Lucy. I'm not technically against Lucy either, but I don't know. I get that character coming in, and I know that she's going to be a big part of you know, of the firefighting family, but I don't know. I just don't see it. I mean, I'm not saying that that's not where they're going to go, or I don't think that's where they're going to go. I don't know. It's just interesting. I don't know. I think she's going to be a character that's going to need a lot more development too.
Team Mariel. Hashtag
Ariel.
Lucy, whatever. Lexi. I mean,
I've seen 3 episodes of the Vampire Diaries now, and I'm wanting to see more. I haven't seen any more yet. So
you need to watch all of the Vampire Diaries.
3 episodes.
That's nothing.
3 episodes in. I mean,
It's nothing.
12 seasons or something like that. So
10, no, 8 or 9.
You have like 5 million more episodes to go. You're good.
There's either 8 or 9 seasons.
So, I mean, the title of the episode, Fearophobia, you know, everybody's dealing with fear. Everybody, not just the main characters, but side characters, patients. It's just a fear episode.
I loved it.
It was a good one. I liked it.
And I didn't
really enjoyed this.
I'm wearing Halloween colors on the fear episode. I didn't even do that on purpose. So just,
right.
You are wearing black and orange.
You know, it was funny. The theme of fear, I don't know. I guess I have a feeling that it really was tied in because it was the 13th episode. I mean,
I do too. I think that's exactly right.
It was really kind of like off to kind of like, that's a really kind of like
Random.
You know, random topic. Like every call is going to be about that. And obviously, I guess in real life, you can just pick, you know, I mean, the themes from every call, you know what I mean? But I mean, I get it's TV show, you know, and, you know, they start off with this guy and, you know, what do they call it? Immersion therapy.
Immersion therapy.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, come on, man. And it's just like, I'm sitting there watching this guy go into this shark cage and you can tell it's already going to be a problem. I'm thinking, these guides, yeah, they're not watching all these red flags that we're seeing.
No.
You know, it's like we know
I'm watching and I'm like, excuse me,
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I was like, why is this guy not watching? He's not okay. And then it's all with a thumbs up. It's like, no, don't take that as a yes.
It's like, yeah,
His thumbs up was like,
cut it off. No.
that was the weakest thumbs up I've ever seen.
I thought for sure the guy was gonna get eaten by a shark when he left that cage.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too. I'm thinking, okay, here comes the guys, and they're gonna be like, well, where's the other part of him? And then like Buck's gonna pick up the shark and be like, here it is. So, I don't know. You know what I mean? I was thinking,
I mean, out of the water.
oh,
It wasn't, we're not discussing Sharknado.
That's right, exactly. I haven't seen those, but I have a feeling this is pretty close, you know. But I mean, him panicking and getting out of there that fast, I mean, that was pretty crazy. I mean, it's just like I was laughing because we're sitting down eating while we were watching this, and I had a Pepsi bottle, and and they were like, oh, I said, he's got the bends, and they go, what? I goes, this was happening to every cell in his body. And I opened the can, it just went like this, you know, all the pressure came out, and I said, that's what's happening. And they were like, oh, okay.
But who saved the day?
I know. The fishmonger really actually saved it. He had
Lucy saved the day. Go Lucy. Go
Okay.
Lucy.
she
He
gets
also overwhelmed them with fish. You know,
Oh my gosh, they had so much different
So-
fishes cracking me up. The big place sushi.
the loaves and fishes. They just all the fishes multiply.
hey, props to him though for you know, doing the sushi. You know, I mean, that's an art, you know.
It looked delicious.
Yeah. I don't
No,
eat sushi, but I would have like attacked that plate. I'm like, yes.
yeah, it did look really good. I don't eat any kind of raw anything, like, period. But
I do. Give it to me.
I've seen way too many parasitical horror stories, so I'm
I
like,
don't care. If it happens, it happens. I at least ate good.
worth it. Speaking of parasites, then we got the spiders. Sorry to any of you spider fans out there. Yeah, that
This
know-
was Shelby's favorite one. Shout out to
Oh
Shelby.
yeah, she loved it.
She had nightmares.
we
Poor thing didn't
spiders.
sleep last night.
yeah, that was definitely nightmare fuel. I don't
Had to fast forward through some of the scenes because I got the gist of what was happening. I did not need all of the gory details. I just didn't need the visual. That's all.
definitely didn't watch it. I saw the whole thing. I mean,
Who expected to walk
No.
to see in the room that he was webbed?
we'll see.
I
So,
thought he was gonna have like a bite or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was for TV. I don't
Yeah.
think tarantulas do that. There might be a certain type of tarantula that does that. If there's any spider fans out there, you know, feel free to message us.
Let us know.
You know, let us know. Because we kind of do need to rule out that, you know, nightmare fuel. You know, it'd be great to kind of discredit that. That'd be awesome. to do.
know that is never ever gonna be a human being.
But in the
That guy
meantime, we're
too is
gonna say
hilarious.
that there's been no documented case that we are aware of that has ever happened.
Ugh.
Proto Baggins maybe, but you know that we're not in Middle Earth, so there you go. But
Yeah.
And how did it end up like one spider escaped and then all of these spiders
Okay.
crawled out of
Yeah,
there?
where did all
Where
these
did
come
they
from?
all come from?
Yeah, that's one thing that I was like really confused about, because like he was really into the groove of it. I mean, at first, I mean, he
know.
was just as afraid as anybody else would have been. And then he's like, this is pretty cool. He's like liking these things. And I'm thinking, if you're paying that much attention, you're probably not going to leave the door open. You
No,
know,
I mean you saw him like tapping on him, like he was like checking on him, and like maybe one could have gotten left open, but I'm like, okay, 3, 4 got left open. Like that's odd.
wondering, like, how long were they there? Because remember, he said that at first he had them in that one room, and then during the pandemic, he decided to go ahead and have them give them each their own room.
oh,
And
shit,
I'm-
maybe they're
how
good waiting there.
Yeah, so could it be that it's just been chilling there all that time? Or I mean, I didn't
boy.
understand. I like
It could be.
you know, I thought that maybe my confusion was the fact that I like flipped forward a little bit, like where
So
they came from and how they got there. But you know, I don't know, you know.
We're
So
gonna go
whenever-
with that. It was total totally impossible. This was all for TV. None of this could ever actually happen in real life.
But
That's how
wait, I have a story. So when I was a teenager, we had a lizard. It was a Savannah monitor. They get pretty big. I mean, ours was probably 1.5 feet long.
fun.
And it got out in July one year. Guys, we never found it. Like, we got rid of the tank. February of the next year, it comes walking across our living room.
Hey mom, hey dad, I'm home.
What's up, guys?
What's for dinner, y'all?
You've just been
Where
chilling
was
over-
that thing all these months? What did it live on?
That's
Yeah.
terrifying.
I know. We
Like,
got
I
rid of it
would've
after
felt-
that because we had given all this stuff up.
That's funny. See, I would have felt like extremely bad. Like I would have like had a gut like wrenching feeling, be like, what
Oh yeah.
poor thing. But then I would have been like, he's still alive. Okay,
Yeah.
he's doing good.
I mean, we lived like out in like the country, like country Texas.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he found plenty of stuff to eat.
Yep.
Yeah, he just hung around and he just finally felt like, oh hey, I'm back here now. You know.
What you didn't realize is that you did have an insect problem, but it was well managed.
There you go.
That was our plan all along.
If this guy just had, you know, a lizard like you guys, and you know,
Yeah,
everything would have been fine. You know.
exactly.
And the final fearless or fearful, I guess this one's fearless.
Fearless. Thank you for saying
Yeah.
fearless and reminding me.
Oh, sorry. The woman that is about to get robbed, I gotta tell you, that was pretty actually kind of, I think that was kind of crazy. I kind of like seeing the gumption. I mean, obviously I feel bad for her that she was sick, but it was kind of like, that is exactly how you should be handling that situation at that moment. You know, it's just
Mhm.
like I mean, it was refreshing to see, you know. It's
I
just,
was with her up until she poured the gasoline on herself. Then I'm like,
Yes. I
yeah.
was like, wait,
Use that.
why?
Yeah.
Why is she doing that? Like, what are we doing?
she's
Yeah.
doing all Hunger Games, you know.
But I think, I mean, there was that, I think Josh, you and I were talking about it earlier. There's that viral video going around where the lady was getting robbed at a gas station and she did turn the gas nozzle on them and they got in their car and they drove away.
That's
Like
something
in the
else.
past few months, that was a viral video going around. So I think that's kind of where this came from.
Maybe so. I've actually seen somebody get doused with gasoline in real life. Like in real life,
Ooh.
we're going to there's a place called Rudy's. It's like a country store. It's like a barbecue and convenience store all in one. Great place. That's a unsolicited plug for Rudy's. And it has a gas station up front. Right, exactly. I'm parking the car. They're already inside ordering, and there's like a lady and her son. He looks like a teen, maybe like, I don't know, 14 years old. And I guess she's trying to teach him how to put gas in their car. And they got a big old SUV, and she's standing there. And this kid grabs and I'm walking up, so I see all this. He grabs the nozzle, right? And she's already pushed it. Well, he grabs the nozzle and pulls the handle, and gasoline just starts going everywhere. And this poor kid panics. So, instead of just dropping it, he pulls it back and he points the thing up. And so now gasoline is just raining on both of them. And then you just see the mom like panic and grab it from him. And I was like this close to pushing that big red button that stops the pump. So I was like, yes, this is my chance to actually push that button. I didn't.
The thing.
After she stops it, just run over there and hit it.
Just do
Yes.
it anyway, right?
I saved you, not really, but I did.
But they were
Sir,
fun.
you were 5 minutes too late. Yeah, but I've always wanted to push it.
But I pushed the button.
Let me have my moments. I pressed the button. Give this to me.
It was something else. So when I saw this today, I was like, oh boy. I just immediately thought back about that. But she did a pretty good job. That guy got what was coming to him too. But I guess obviously it was one of those things where she was undiagnosed with I forgot what Hen called it, but she was literally technically fearless. I mean, she
Yep.
just didn't feel it. And that's got to be a weird sensation. You know what I mean? You would think that it would just be a calming thing, right? I'm not worried about anything, but at the same time, I guess your mind just knows, hey, look, something's not right.
Yeah.
In the words of Doctor Who, fear is a superpower. It's not something that's supposed to cripple you. It's supposed to be something that's supposed to tell you when something wrong. It's supposed to give you adrenaline, and give you strength, when you need it. At least that's what it's supposed to be.
When she said no, I was like, meanwhile in Texas, like I was waiting for her like to pull her own, out of her purse. And of course, that was before we knew she was sick and it was gonna lead to. But I was like, okay, everybody, it's smart to be smart, like don't ever be the hero. But I was like really excited, because he knew that guy was never going to pull the trigger because he would have already. So at that point, I thought she just realized that herself, that she just was like buying herself time to pull out her own gun and be like, okay, get away from me and get herself to safety,
Yep.
But then, you realize, okay, well, it changed from there. But I thought, oh, she knows he's just a coward. He's not gonna, which it's always best to assume the worst and be safe in a situation like that. But
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously they pushed her to try to jump off the building. And I thought for a half second, like Buck was actually going to catch her like midair. Like I was thinking that's exactly what I saw. Buck, I was like, oh my gosh, like, they're just going to be holding on to both of them. But then I saw the rail and he's just like grabbing her around like that. I'm like, okay, well, that's
works
possible. We were ready to see Buck in like, real action. I was like,
we got some good action last week when he jumped into the moving truck. At least.
Yeah, you're right.
But we need it every episode.
Of course.
And that leads to next week's episode. Dumb luck. So we got fear and now luck.
It looks interesting. They didn't show a whole lot. I saw a woman falling from a building, and it looks like, I think it was Buck was going to be the one to try to save her.
Of course.
Obviously, right?
Because they didn't do it this episode, they're going to do it the next episode.
And then someone is stealing stop signs, which, that's always not a good thing.
Ready, kids.
Obviously. Yeah, it looks like it's a bunch of like teenagers or something. And I couldn't tell what the last one was. It was just like a woman trapped somewhere, but I couldn't tell what she was trapped in.
So it looks like it's going to be an eventful episode next episode. Yeah. Is it next week? Next week?
Yes.
We're finally
back next week.
I never know. My goodness. All right. Well, let's jump into Lone Star. It was also the 13th episode of this one was season 3.
Wow.
And we have an injured woman with hay fever pinned in her car in a hayfield.
Yeah, that was.
Oh boy.
What can go wrong?
Huh? For those of you who have never a single springtime,
yeah,
I know that was hay and hay fever. There's a thing called pollen and allergies and all of the craziness. That intensity of that moment of her sneezing,
she just kept like, stop it.
The moment she sneezed, I was like, excuse me, what? Like, what?
I know. I was so random and out of the blue. And then I was like, oh no, hay fever. Like, you don't think that until she sneezes,
Okay. I have to kind of give y'all's opinions on this. The purple elephant thing. I've known that since a kid.
Really?
I do that to my kids.
I think it's
we say purple elephant, pink elephant, blue duck. Like
you
say like a color and an animal. I don't know. We usually say purple or pink elephant. That's our main ones we go to.
So
is that
interesting
popular?
fact. I don't think that's very popular because I have never heard of that. But I will say this: things like the hiccups and I think sneezing, there also can be involuntary. I mean, obviously they are involuntary. And so your brain controls that. So like the hiccups, like they say, you hold your breath, for like 10 seconds, holding your breath has nothing to do with stopping your hiccups. What happens is you stop focusing on the hiccups and your brain starts thinking something else and your hiccups go away. So I think it's the same thing with sneezing. So your brain's telling your nose to sneeze, but if you stop thinking about, I gotta sneeze, and think about a purple elephant.
That makes sense. You're
Right
telling
now.
overriding your brain, telling your body to sneeze, and you're telling your brain to tell your body to say purple elephant, then it's not sneezing.
Anytime my kids try to go to sneeze and they're like, I'll go purple elephant, and they go, oh man.
That's funny. And what turned out to be a really kind of a sad episode started out hilariously. I mean, Mateo,
Mateo,
oh
what do I do with it?
Oh, they forgot.
It would be Mateo finding the foot.
The foot. I was
No
like,
one
ooh.
else. But and I feel like that's kind of like his personality. He's the kind of guy that's going to be looking around on the ground for something weird,
He was the kid in the outfield picking flowers during the baseball game.
Bingo. Bingo. I think that is exactly his personality. And I mean, obviously it saved this guy's life. So I mean, I guess it's worth something, but I thought that was so funny, looking for a cyclist in a haystack. It's like,
and then that song came on, and I was like, "What is happening right now?"
I know. I just.
Hey.
The whole time I'm like, "You're not supposed to be laughing at this. Some guy has his foot chopped off. You don't laugh at this."
But it's so funny. It's not real.
My gosh, no, I know. And then I think the icing on the cake was the ambulance driving off and Mateo's still holding on to the foot. And it's just like, I was like, go run or whatever.
Mateo would be standing there with the foot in his hand the whole time. They're driving off. And he's just like, oh my gosh, it's still in my hands.
I just see the doctor and where's the foot?
Oh, I knew we forgot something.
I just thought that was so funny. But then we go.
Also, there's another parallel to these two episodes that I don't know if anybody realized. The guy who was with the spider thing, his name was
it Mateo?
One of the victims, their name was Horatio.
Oh, I didn't catch that connection. Horatio.
The spider guy was Horatio?
It was the spider guy or the shark guy. I can't remember which one. It was one of the victims.
I didn't catch that at all. It had to have been the spider
I
guy.
watched with captions.
Oh, there you go. So you saw the word Horatio. Oh, wow.
Well, somebody called him Horatio. I can't remember which one it is. But one of them. And then I was like, oh, because I had watched 911 Lone Star first.
Oh, so
and then I watched OG. And so when it say Horatio, I was like, it like caught my attention real fast. I was like, wait, Horatio. I was like, oh, you guys you're going good this week.
Right.
Well, I think about it too. The opening sequence, you're expecting dismemberment on OG because there's a shark, and then
you got it in 911.
And then it starts with a car accident in a hayfield, and all of us like the last thing you're expecting is dismemberment, and they're so
yeah.
it's wait a minute.
Horatio. I'm never gonna think of that name again. I'm never gonna think of a Sphinx cat again. It's like, we move on to Owen and Catherine. They're trying to have, some time off together. Of course, obviously, she's getting called back into work. And so now he's having to take care of this cat. And oh boy. But let me just a side note.
What's wrong with it?
I know. It's just like, just a side note, though. I think I would watch like a pile of nuclear waste if any actor asked me to. I mean, honestly, like, yeah. So, I mean, cats shouldn't be a problem, but
her thinking that Owen looks like her ex.
Oh, no. Oh,
that is so. What's the name of his character in Parks and Rec? Because that's so something he would do.
I didn't. I've only seen a few episodes of that.
Yeah, that I don't know. I think that I don't know. It was funny. I think that
And the show's name's Patrick.
Chris Traeger.
You're talking about, okay, you're talking about, yeah.
That's something Chris Traeger would do.
That is something he would do. No, I know. And it's so funny that Patrick walks in. I mean, you've got this old guy, and I mean, it's literally, it's Homer Simpson, right? The
Yeah.
guy, he's literally the voice of Homer Simpson. And I'm like, okay, and I don't know.
As soon as he opened the door, I was like, oh.
It's like, I see where this is gonna go. So it was funny. And I mean, I guess he got a little bit of bad advice, just a little bit of bad advice from Judd, I would say.
Oh my gosh. What? Judd needs to stop giving advice
He
sometimes.
really does. He's
When
not
he
so
turned
good at it.
around and saw Horatio, what's wrong with it?
I know.
Is it sick?
You should have known.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, poor thing.
I
daddy issues.
I know. And I was kind of like through that whole thing. I mean, I was like, oh no. And I knew there had to be some sort of misunderstanding. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I knew there was something more to this, but of
So-
course, Owen's gonna keep going.
I thought it was like maybe their personalities were just alike because he's like, this is the coconut oil for its skin. This is the, he was kind of like neurotic about that kind of stuff, like Owen is.
Yeah.
And so I was like, maybe like their personalities are very similar, and that's why she's attracted to both.
I was trying to
Maybe
Maybe they're similar heights. Like,
both men.
I was confused because the way she was talking, it's like she was almost dating the same guy she used to be married to. And I'm like, this old bald guy? What?
That's exactly what Owen was thinking.
I know his feelings were so hurt.
I know I think that one hurt him like on a deeper, like beyond emotional. I think that was like touching his soul. It's just like
I don't think I've ever seen Mateo move faster out of there.
no, and the grin on his face in the background, he was just like,
we all need a Mateo in our lives.
yeah, absolutely. He was just grinning from ear to ear, and then like, I better get out of here.
It made him so happy.
I know, it was perfect. Mateo's just perfect for all that comedic relief. I mean, he just balances everything out. But
Just him going off on her.
I know
I don't the AARP card.
it's somebody with an AARP card. See,
Oh my God, Owen, shut up.
I know, and that's all he needed to do was just kind of, even if that was the truth and the way he was feeling, he definitely could have approached that a lot better. He could have definitely had a grown-up conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, we're
Maybe
talking
had
about Owen here.
Maybe have a conversation like somebody that has an AARP card, but I don't know. It's just
He was just
His face when Patrick walked in, the actual Patrick.
Yes. He's like, oh.
suddenly complimented and humbled.
well, that helped
Done
his ego
messed
for
up.
sure. Yeah. No, he
And
was
you
like,
saw her face when she realized that he thought Patrick Sr. was her Patrick. You could see her face in the background, like smirking.
but you know what, too? I can understand why she probably got upset too, because it's kind of like I'm sure in her mind she was thinking, you think that I'm capable, you know what I mean? Of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, I don't know. I just kind of, that's what I kind of got from him. But of course, it would be a stupid hairless cat that would break up Owen and Catherine.
I think
Sorry.
they'll be back together too.
I
They
hope
have-
so.
They
It
can
was a
survive.
complete silly misunderstanding. You can't break up after that. I mean, if they break up over that, then they don't need to be together.
Yeah.
He
And
was
I think,
probably just a temporary character, I guess.
well, I don't want to see her leave the show. I was surprised how well they like threw her in there. It was I thought they were gonna like build up a little bit, like, oh, here's Amy Acker, and then a long time later, oh, here she is again, and then build up to something a little bit more long term. But the fact that they seemed like they were long term immediately kind of was a little bit concerning, because it's like, well, that she's a great addition to the cast, but maybe they went a little too fast, and does that mean that she's going to be short term? But I
Yeah.
really hope they bring her back around, because it did almost feel like that was it, like that was what the character served the purpose for, like just another funny, Owen situation. But like, I don't want that to be the case. Like, let's give them some time and come back together. And I think that's probably setting it up for like a future, something's going to happen and suddenly she's going to be somehow involved, and it's going to be that shock and awe, or I mean, they kind of foreshadowed it in their first date, and then the car chase, and then it was going to be like, well, certainly that's the end, and then suddenly they're, no, that's not the end, so hopefully it's like a grander scale of that. But if they car chases and kidnappings and seemingly terrorist attacks, but the one thing that broke them apart was a cat. It's like, okay.
I told you, those cats,
I know
they got bad juju.
People. I still stand Cohen. That's their ship name for me. We're gonna call him Cohen.
Cohen.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think it'll be good. I really want to see Amy Acker on this show more. I think she's a perfect fit for this show. I think it'd be great.
I like her with
together,
Owen
too.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I like her with Owen. I think they complement each other.
They do.
They challenge each other. I like her with him.
Yeah, I think she would be a great addition to the cast.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's been what, about 5 episodes, I guess, now, or 4?
But I would say 5. I haven't counted them, but it seems like
back.
less. Yeah.
So, I mean, technically, she's a recurrent character. So I hope that, like you said, I hope they just, don't just throw it out like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Like I said, if they break up over that, I'm gonna say, well, you know what?
Then that's what it's meant to be.
Yeah, like, don't waste our time.
Speaking about breakups, man, oh man, Carlos and TK, I was like, what in the world is happening?
Oh, I know.
I was really nervous this episode.
I was too.
And I was kind of, I don't know, Cooper there. I mean, I was just kind of like, TK, what's up?
I like Cooper, but he still makes me nervous. I mean, I know they say he's straight, but have you looked at TK and Carlos? I mean, that could turn a straight man.
Oh my
Yeah. I agree with you. Totally in agreement with you. I think TK and Carlos are way prettier than Cooper, though.
Yeah.
Cooper's too pretty.
He's too pretty.
You know what I mean? Like he's too Zach Morris.
Zach Morris.
It took me a second to get there.
I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to explain. Like he's too pretty. Like his hair is all I don't know. Like Owen is very like, I don't know, metrosexual, but Cooper just seems like very like, I don't know how to explain it. Pretty. Like he's pretty. Like
We're going back to pretty.
I don't know how to explain him. Like he's just pretty. Like he's got beautiful hair. His eyes are gorgeous. Like I like Cooper. I think he's really pretty. I just don't find him like hot. Tiffany, you agree with me here?
Yeah.
Usually you have the very same type taste in men as I do.
I would choose Carlos over him any day.
Oh, I know. Carlos and TK, they go back and forth with me. But seeing Carlos like sitting down with like the glasses on, I was like, man. Man.
I like those glasses.
I know.
The Clark Kent glasses, like suddenly.
And cooking like that.
Right?
Sad though, like, I mean, like, I know he's making a point, but it was so sweet. Like he's cooking there. Oh, that smells so good. And was I supposed to cook for you too? It's like, oh, that would hurt.
Like,
I saw him making that one plate and I was like, yes.
he did redeem himself though. It's Carlos did. I mean, I think, obviously it was kind of like one of those things seeing at the end there when he was talking about, Cooper understanding. I think we touched about it on the other, talking about on 911. The therapist should have kind of said, hey, go find, or here's a group that has experienced what you've experienced versus just go look up old friends that have experienced, or just, left it up to him to decide.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of merit in them acknowledging the fact that that Cooper had the same experience, and that was valid. You know what I mean? That he needed that understanding, and then sometimes you can't be everything for somebody, and that's in every kind of relationship, friendships and and whatnot and everything else as well. So it's like sometimes there needs to be something else. You just can't be the end all fix, and I think that spreads to every kind of relationship. So I think it had a lot of merit.
Yeah, after TK and Tommy had to talk to that young boy and tell him that his mom had passed, you could tell how much it affected TK. Just bringing up memories with his mom and his own struggles.
Mm-hmm. That was a really hard call too, man.
Yeah.
I did not expect her to die. I thought they were like going to get her out and she'd be okay.
That's quick.
When it happened, I was thinking like, no, she's gonna be fine. But leading up to it, you could kind of tell like something was gonna happen, especially because towards the end of the episode, the drama was building. But when she went forward and incident like in that moment occurred, I didn't think that it was gonna kill her.
I thought it was the opposite. I was like, the moment I saw her foot go on that gas pedal, I was like, she gone. It's like it's over. I was like, yeah.
I mean, I think we heard like a crunch.
Oh yeah, then yeah.
Oh, it was a definitive crunch. Oh yes.
I heard the crunch and I was like, well,
I was like, thank you,
maybe
Mr. Audio designer.
Yeah,
that right?
Ruined our night. Thank you.
Yeah, it was so
You did
morbid.
your job, maybe a little too well, but you did your job.
I enjoyed it. Not in a weird way. That sounded very strange.
It did, yeah.
That's for the other podcast.
I like those like audio clues though.
So the podcast.
My other podcast, the creepy one.
But it
Shout
was
out A Nefarious Nightmare.
all the bones crunching.
I never want to hear bones crunch, trust me. But it was like what I was meaning by that was I like little audio clips when they add them in for extra. I mean, you didn't need to hear the crunch, okay? But it added something extra. Just like sometimes when we were talking about Bridgerton and somebody had said something like faint often or I don't know, somebody had said something often faint and you couldn't even hear her unless you had the captions on. And it's like certain stuff like that I like finding in shows. The little hidden things.
Like Horatio.
Like Horatio, exactly. My husband gets so mad at me for watching TV with captions.
I'm not a caption person. Like I will not watch a program like if it's dubbed. I mean, or not dubbed and it's only in captions. I mean, but then I won't watch if it's dubbed too because it's kind of, I don't know.
I'll take captions over dubbed, but if I can avoid captions, then yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I agree with you because it's like music, it's like, when you got a scene in a movie or even a television show and it doesn't have any music, you're not as involved. You add that emotion and sound effects do the same thing, and so, and even if like you said, it's like little things off in the distance, somebody, saying something in the background, it does add that sense of realism. I think as we're listening, you pick up on those cues and it just it drives that emotion, or whatever feeling that they're trying to push,
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think audio is a huge part of it.
It definitely is. I love the little audio things and hidden things we can find in shows.
Absolutely. Well, and that's cool if you can find them in the captions and all those little things that the rest of us miss.
Yep. But to bring it back to Cooper, because we haven't talked enough about him yet.
Boy.
Who honestly thought this was going to be a huge problem? Like, who thought this was going to be like an affair?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't think it was going to be an affair, but I thought that was a huge possibility. But I was thinking before that happened, it would be the jealousy and the doubt and the mistrust that would pull them apart. And afterwards, then maybe TK and Cooper would be a thing. But I didn't think that it was going to be la-di-da-di-da, and they're actually, although it did seem like they truly were there was something more there. Like something was happening. I mean, Carlos was seeing it, and it made it seem like more, but I was thinking the jealousy was going to pull them apart before, anything else would.
I understand having to call your sponsor at 3:00 in the morning. I mean, I get that, you know what I mean? That's a logical thing for somebody who needs help, because you're going to need help at any time of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But then they show it and it's like, excuse you, sir, I'm sorry. Like, what? Okay.
I know. You're
Yeah,
like,
it's like,
excuse me, why don't
dude.
you just go talk to Carlos?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's
Which is not, and you have a sponsor for a reason.
sure.
Absolutely.
And I like that they kind of explain that, because a lot of people, unless you've been through it,
Yeah.
you don't know those type of things.
Yeah.
So that was just a little bit of awareness that they brought into that and tried to explain a sponsor is available 24/7. They will pick up their phone for you at 3 a.m. Thankfully, I've never had one. I don't have a problem. I mean, it runs in my family, so I have a lot of family members who have, and so I know a lot about it. I thought he was going to be a problem, and I'm really glad that in the end, Carlos ended up calling Cooper over there and seeing his little smirk right before he closes the door, like he knows everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
That was such a relief to see, like, okay,
Agreed.
please stop messing with TK and Carlos now. Thank you.
I enjoyed Tommy this week, though. She got got out of the house and went on a date. Although, that didn't turn out so great. But she did it.
She
went on
did
a-
it.
She had a cocktail under the stars, like she said.
Yeah.
And do we know how long
nice
he's
cry.
been gone?
I think, did they say it was like 10 months?
Oh wow.
I don't know. I can't remember if they said anything or not.
Because we haven't had a time jump or anything with this show, have we? I don't think we have.
I think they kind of kept it in real time, because I know when it ended in May, because when this season first started, it started in January, but the beginning of the episode took place in May because it was coming off of the events that happened in the season finale. It was in May.
Mhm.
So it made it seem like it jumped from May to January to keep it in real time. Then you could see them playing baseball at springtime. And so I'm thinking it's in real time. It's April. So if we count back whatever month it was that he passed, maybe it was 10 months ago. I don't remember.
That's an appropriate amount of time, isn't it? Just to start kind of putting your foot out there. I don't know what I think I'm sure it changes from person to person.
Exactly. I was gonna say, I think it's got to be a very individual, personal thing, because
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people out there that'll just never recover from something like that. But then there's some people that just, that's how do I say it? Just like I don't want to call it part of their healing process, but it is, I think, in some way for some people that's part of the healing process, knowing that, hey, that life does continue, and I'm sure her husband doesn't want her sad for the rest of her life. You know what I mean? It's just like,
yeah, he wants her to
I don't think so.
So young, she needs help, and you hear so many stories about people who have gone through similar situations and they end up together because they can relate to each other. If he had gone on a date with someone else and he broke down, she would have no idea where he was coming from, even if she tried to understand. But Tommy knew exactly what he was feeling. Just like when Tommy was almost about to break down herself, he knew exactly what she was feeling. He's like, hey, no, that's part of it, and are you okay? So he could try to meet her where he understood what she was feeling and tried to meet her where she was at. So I think, it is individual, but they have that in common to help them.
Yeah.
That even though, they say the date went bad, I think there were some really positive aspects of it. I think even that feeling like they're not alone, and they can meet each other where they're at, and hey, there is an opportunity for life afterwards. But she's more focused on I got to put on perfume and eat at a fancy restaurant, and things that everyone takes for granted that she hadn't experienced since his passing. And it's nice to see her take in that deep breath,
it was
start to live again. You
I don't know how soon she'll do it again, though.
It's gonna be a while.
Sure.
I think she'll. I don't think she was 100%
Ready.
ready yet.
And I think
No.
Blanca, how cute was Blanca with
That
She
picture.
cracked me up, man.
Brad? It's all like, you want to cut back on that? Oh, so and she was adorable, and obviously she had her heart in the right place. I don't know how long it had been since she was widowed, but she's older than them, so she's probably felt like a maternal feeling towards them, and she wants to help them move on also. So she's like,
Mhm.
hey, play a little matchmaker and help the kiddos move on in their grief, and it was cute, but she encouraged it, and Tommy wasn't ready yet, but
I liked her piling all the donuts on her plate.
I know. She's like, I'll go out with him as long as he stops eating all the donuts.
Oh my gosh. Oh, and I love that Tommy called Grace for fashion advice.
Yes. I love that.
So cute. And of course, babysat for her.
She gives the best pep talks.
I know. I always love when Tommy and Grace have a scene together. I
Yeah.
really enjoy their friendship.
Mm-hmm.
I think Grace is like I want to say the biggest underrated character in this show. I mean, I think she is like far more important than I think I mean, I give her a lot of airtime, but still, I think she's how do I say, one of the driving forces in this program, at least in my opinion. I don't know.
I think so too. When what was that question on the Facebook page? Like, if you went to Austin, whose house would you crash at? And I was like, either Tommy or Grace's. But I was like, I'd crash at Grace's house and then just have like Tommy over, and it'd just be like a party for grown-ups or something like that. Like, if you were real, like, I'd want to be friends with them. I'd be like, hey guys, let's just all hang out. Like, let's do this. Because you see them together. I love their scenes together. It's like, I want to be a part of that.
Mhm.
It's cool,
Oh,
And
yeah.
In real life, I guarantee you, I'd be friends with Judd and Grace. I mean, we're probably having dinner at the Sirloin Stockade after church. 100%. There's no question about it.
Exactly. I'll babysit the baby. I'll do it.
No, me. I get the baby. You can babysit Tommy's kids, okay?
You go. We'll just put them all together, be like one big group. play
No,
date.
her twins scare me.
She's like, I got the baby. That's it. That's all I'm going.
I got dibs on the baby. You can take. No, I was kidding.
The twins scare me. No, I would never watch them.
Really?
Too much,
Go
too much shining
Watch the Shining.
parallels going on.
Uh-oh. Okay. I'll take the twins then.
Thank you. I'm sure they're very lovely. My own psychotic brain.
Right. It's like they did it to themselves too. Remember, they saw that horror. What horror movie was it that they saw? They had nightmares. The twins.
I don't remember what the movie was. I remember that though.
I do.
And I was like,
that.
you see?
Yeah. See, so they had. She's like proving my point.
Exactly.
I don't think horror characters would be scared by other horror movies though. I don't think
I
it
would.
works.
Have you seen Freddy versus Jason, Beth?
I was just about to say, have you not seen? They don't like each other.
They really don't.
Doesn't work.
I thought their blood sugar was low. Never mind, my bad.
All right. Well, I think that's all that from the episode. I don't think we missed anything. But what about the preview next week?
Oh,
It looks interesting.
Does it?
It looks like there's a drunk guy that causes a car accident, maybe causes someone to lose someone in his family. I'm not sure, but the guy that was in the truck that the drunk guy flipped over, he comes back with a gun, shoot him.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's gonna be a dramatic.
So that's what I'm
one.
thinking. Maybe he lost somebody, because but for him to come back and try and shoot the guy.
That's
Mm.
hard.
Something must have happened. Something bad.
That's
Wow.
All right. Well, next week we will see what is going to happen. All right. So if you want to follow us on Facebook, it's 911 Family Fan Club. And I think that's it. So see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
For our listeners craving more, you can search for all 16 of our groups on Facebook by searching Family Fan Club. Come on over and join the conversation. You can also find us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok under Fandom Family Chats. We try to always make sure to have something that will entertain. Of course, we'd also love your feedback, the good and any bad. And you can provide that by emailing us at familyfanclub2021@gmail.com. Keep an eye out for our website coming soon, where you'll be able to buy FFC merch and merch about some of your favorite TV shows with some favorite sayings and images. We're also working toward hosting a Comic-Con style event in 2024, where some of your favorite fandoms, cast, crew, and fans alike will come together for a fun-filled weekend. You can find those announcements on our website coming at you soon. Keep watching and listening, and as always, don't forget to share and subscribe.